Hey, let's see if we can make this work. Hey guys. uh, First invite members. Where is the icon? Hey,
Yeah.
there you are.
Hi, Matt. Hi again.
I'm on my phone, so it's a bit hard, but I can keep it horizontal at least.
Yeah. Well, oh my God. This is hard to go live on streaming. Okay, Matt, please remember I'm Italian, I speak Italian, so no slang and speak slowly, okay?
All right.
First of all, Matt, really thanks a lot from all the OOVG staff. It's really a privilege to have you here on our group. We're all excited about this, to have the chance to have a chat with you, to ask you many questions that many of us wanted to make you, but well, we never had the chance.
Yeah, I know it's a crazy scheduling, I'm like super busy. But
Yeah, David.
I take some time to talk to you guys.
Matt sta dicendo, sì, stavo dicendo che lo ringraziamo da parte di tutto lo staff di OVG per averci dato la possibilità di averlo qui con noi e finalmente di potergli fare qualche domanda che tanti di noi magari volevano fargli, ma per la quale è sempre mancata occasione. You're not used to give interviews or to put your face in videos, Matt, aren't you?
No, I mean I've posted videos in my group. We gave that Vape Snob interview. That was pretty good. It's just a time thing, really. I mean, MedMods is me, and I have one machinist, so we're always pretty busy. And then lately, I've been spending a lot of time, just a hobby of mine, getting tattooed. So that really does take up a lot of time too.
I see. I translate in the meantime. Ho detto a Matt che non è semplice riuscire a vederlo, anche perché gli ho domandato se fosse per caso in qualche modo timido o restio a farsi vedere in video. In realtà Matt ha spiegato che si tratta più di problemi e questioni legati allo scheduling, al tempo a disposizione, perché evidentemente preferisce, giustamente direi io, passare il proprio tempo al lavoro e a farsi tatuare, sua grande passione. Tattoo, your great passion, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, early. early on, I got tattooed like in my early 20s, but I never really had like the time or the money to do it. And so now, you know, I just figure like I want to finish getting tattooed before I turn 40.
Okay, after tattoos, Matt, let's start to have our chat about vaping and about your travel in the vape industry. But before
Yeah.
arriving to vape, who is Matt Brown and what was he doing before becoming the Map Mod Master? Chi è Matt Brown e cosa faceva prima di Map Mod?
Well, I mean, I went to school for engineering. I graduated Cal Poly Pomona with a degree in mechanical engineering. And I did that for almost 10 years. It was good. I had a lot of aerospace jobs, some commercial, but the corporate lifestyle just wasn't really for me. I mean, it paid the bills, but I wasn't, you know, super happy, I guess. I mean, it was all right, but um, then I did that for a while, and then actually I worked for e-cig distributor for a short time, and I was doing consulting work for them, and that kind of like bridged the gap between like working for somebody and then doing consulting.
Mm.
And after that, I had some free time, and I just decided to try to do an atomizer. I
Okay.
mean, I had done a few mech mods before then, and they're were all right. They never really hit it big or anything, but it wasn't really about that for me. It was more like just to make products. And
Okay, hold, Matt, you're going too long, otherwise I forget what you're saying, I had to translate it. Ho
sure.
chiesto a Matt chi era Matt prima di essere, diciamo, il capo di Mad Mods, e mi stava spiegando appunto che nasce come ingegnere meccanico, è un'attività che ha fatto per circa una decina di anni più o meno. Dava anche consulenze, lavorava per questa azienda, mi sembra aver capito, però non era che fosse sinceramente, non era nella sua indole, era quello che gli interessava e che gli piaceva. Così sostanzialmente è arrivato alla produzione So, do you hear me, Matt? I hear many noises. Do you hear
Say it again.
There are a lot of noises. Do you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, no, sorry. I just translate about your beginning. But did you smoke cigarettes, fags before? Were you a smoker?
Yeah. Yeah, I smoked a carton a week for almost 13 years.
13.
So I had tried vaping and it worked for me. I mean, this is back in the days of like the Viva Nova tank and like 2012, and that was one of the reasons why I wanted to do an atomizer is because I had other ideas that weren't out in the market, and I mean, I basically just did the MATI for me. I never really thought that it was gonna become anything other than just maybe like the first run, and then I would have my own atomizer, the one that I wanted, and that was it. That was the whole goal back when I was doing the design work.
Matt mi stava spiegando che come tanti di noi, prima ovviamente di avvicinarsi allo svapo, era un fumatore e il progetto MAT nasce come atomizzatore per lui, per uso personale. Non aveva pensato, e qui mi ha anticipato alcune domande che volevo fargli, non aveva pensato di fare un atomizzatore che poi evidentemente avrebbe avuto tutto questo riscontro. But Matt, I beg your pardon, do you have any atomizer in your heart, other products you use, or you had as an inspiration thinking about your MAT?
Um, Say again. Do I have a?
No, I was saying, do you have any atomizer in your heart or your mind, and you use them as inspiration when you started working on your MAT?
Oh, I think at the time, the only atomizers I really used was like the SAT 22 because when I first started vaping, I used the replaceable coil heads, but I didn't like them. You know, the flavor just wasn't there, and I was still smoking cigs at that time. I was still smoking cigarettes, and I didn't fully quit cigarettes until I went to a rebuildable. Well, the first rebuildables I used were the Genesis. You know, there was no cotton or anything back then, so I was using the Sat and the Origin. I always liked Norbert stuff. He made the best back then, and I think
Okay.
he's make some the best, like some of the best stuff. But
Sats 22 and Origin.
mhm.
Matt ci stava dicendo che appunto nel periodo in cui di transizione tra il fumo e lo svapo, gli atomizzatori diciamo che gli sono rimasti più nel cuore, quelli che ha usato erano fondamentalmente il SAT 22 e l'Origin. Non si trovava male, però notava una certa mancanza di aromaticità e infatti, dice lui, in quel periodo stava continuando comunque a fumare. So Matt, this is how your idea to project your atomizer has come. So it was just a hobby at the beginning for you.
What?
Do you hear me?
Yeah, I do. What
No,
was the question?
I'm saying, so it began as a hobby. That's it. That's all.
Yeah. Mhm. Yep.
How
I
important
mean,
your study of mechanical engineering have been in the production of your atomizer?
I mean, integral. Like it's that was the whole reason I did it is because I figured like I could make one too. You know, I've designed so many parts in my previous career and I've seen things through production and I felt like, you know, I could at least make a first run. I could at least do 200 and then I mean, without that, I don't know if we'd have an M-Addy.
Your decision to make the first batch, the FPR, 200 pieces, has been a choice, your choice, or something suggested by the costs and the production?
No, I mean, I definitely wanted to do it. I could never really get that much like high-end vape gear back then, and I mean, Origins you can get those, and the Sat that was kind of hard for me to get. So I figured like, well, if I can't get it, I'll just make it myself.
Right, right. Ho chiesto a Matt se la scelta iniziale di fare i 200 pezzi dei famosi FPR sia stata dettata da una sua scelta, decisione personale, oppure da opportunità e ragioni di costo e di produzione. Mi ha detto che in realtà lui non si è mai posto questo tipo di problema, nel senso che anche gli atomizzatori che cercava, il SAT 22 oppure l'Origin, erano prodotti per lui difficili comunque da trovare, da reperire. Per cui di fatto si è incanalato in questa stessa linea e ha fatto una batch così, diciamo, un po' più ristretta. And after this, Matt, after the first 200 pieces rolled out, good success between the vapors, you decided to make 500 more, right?
We did 300 the second run.
So
300 pieces.
300?
Oh, three, yeah.
3, okay, as you do, 300. Okay.
Yeah, we did
Then
200, and that was all right, you know, just with two people making them. And we tried 300, and that was hard. You know, we were really tired after that second run, and we had to take some time off because it was just so much work.
when you say we, Matt Mod is who? Matt Brown and someone else?
Jeremy, my machinist.
You and?
I use one machinist. I use one machine shop, Jeremy, and I mean I can run parts wherever I want. There's tons of machine shops down here, and I've worked with a lot of them, but I choose to only work with one shop because this guy really puts out the high quality parts, and we work well together. I've worked with him on previous projects for like almost 8 or 9 years, so we really work good together. But he is not like a partner in the company. You know, I pay him for the parts.
Okay.
I will not run parts anywhere else. No, like he's my guy.
Okay. Ho chiesto a Matt, perché quando parlava di Matt Mods diceva we, noi, quindi gli ho chiesto ma noi Matt Mod chi? Lui sei da solo o con qualcun altro? E mi ha spiegato fondamentalmente che Mad Mods sono lui e il suo machinist, ma non so in italiano, ora non mi viene la parola, comunque è il ragazzo, la persona, Jeremy, quello che gli fa tutte le lavorazioni. È una persona che conosce da anni, con la quale collabora da anni e dice che lavora veramente alla grande. Per quello dice la squadra sostanzialmente sono loro due. Non sono soci perché Jeremy viene pagato da Matt e non ha nessuna partecipazione ai utili, però è la sua persona per l'aspetto tecnico e produttivo. So Matt, you project.
Yeah.
Sorry, there are some noises time in time. Well, I was saying, so you project your ATI, he makes it, and you take care personally of the QC, all right? Correct?
The what?
Of the quality control. You're in charge of the quality control after the machinery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, Jeremy, my machinist, he does he QCs the parts, and we make inspection gauges and plug gauges and everything to make sure that you know, that the parts I'm getting are per my prints, you know, they're to my specifications. And then I QC them on top of that to make sure that there was none that got through, and also that, you know, the finish and like the aesthetics are correct too, not scratched.
Do you have many blames, many ruined parts after the machinery when you make your quality control?
No, I mean, first run of like a new design, we'll probably scrap a fair amount just to get the part repeatable. But once it's repeatable, once we've done the project, I mean, we're looking at like maybe like 1 to 3%.
Ho chiesto a Matt se durante la lavorazione, o meglio, durante il suo quality control abbia parecchio spreco o parecchi pezzi difettosi. Dice assolutamente no, si attestano su una percentuale del 2-3%. Matt, now a question. I mean, the following step. You made these 500 pieces, right?
Mm-hmm.
All sold out. When did you understand that your ATI had become the MATI? I mean, such an important atomizer, such an important vaping device in the community. How did you realize it?
Well, I mean, I had no idea what was going to happen when I did the first run, but I had bought a lot of other atomizers besides just the Origin and the SAT, and they were okay, but one of my biggest things was, especially back then, always breaking the lead wires. You know, you go to clamp down the final, you go to tighten down the final post, and it cuts the wire. And like, so I kind of thought that, you know, if this takes off, like it's gonna make some impact. But I never really imagined that it would be what it is. I think in about in 2000 last year, about midway through 2016, I thought like, oh well, this is actually becoming something pretty big. Like, even though haven't even released 1,000 units, it has really made like impact on the current market, I guess, or the current things being released.
And tell me, Matt, now a bad question, but I mean, a modder like you, with such a huge success, with people asking him to produce more pieces of his work, but he decides not to make any more. Why?
Well, early on, I made a conscious decision to not mass produce these, and even if you go back and look at the Vape Snob article, I say like I'm not looking to put MATI in the hands of every vapor. It's more so just like putting the ideas out there, like progressing designs and progressing the market. But the decision I made was, well, especially back then, cloning was rampant. It was bad. So I figured I could never beat China on volume. Never. No one can beat China on volume. So the only other thing is to beat them on quality.
So I mean, you've never been interested in quantity, right?
No.
Ho chiesto a Matt appunto come possa un modder come lui, che ha avuto così tanto successo e quindi ha visto una domanda spropositata dei suoi prodotti con vapor e persone interessate ad avere un pezzo, come mai abbia deciso di stoppare e arrestare la produzione. Scusate, sento rumori, attendo un attimo. E quindi niente, Matt mi stava spiegando che nella sua testa, nella sua idea, non c'è mai stata quella di far sì che ogni vapor potesse avere un suo atomizzatore. Non era quello il suo obiettivo. Il suo obiettivo era quello di fare un atomizzatore con una qualità finale per lui impeccabile, eccellente. Ed è quello che quindi ha cercato di fare. Scusate, now a point, Matt, sorry, for the Italian guys. Two words for our Italian guys. Ogni tanto, ragazzi, scusatemi, mi dimentico di farvi la traduzione. Spero che anche voi possiate capire. Io cerco di seguirlo, ma ogni tanto qualcosa mi sfugge. Scusatemi. Sorry, Matt. We can go on. Now, after increasing success of MRT, you invented a new business. You've been the first one, the accessories for the atomizer.
Oh, to accessorize it?
Yeah, I mean, after the production of your atomizers, then you stopped the production and you started making business with the spare parts and extras of the ATI. I'm thinking about C, single coil reducer, drip tips, and so on. When did you realize, how did you realize that that could be a good business for you, quitting the production of the ATI?
Well, I mean, even after the FPR batch, we had people that I did collaborate with, like, JMK made his tip, and that was really cool. But there was others that wanted to just make sloppy looking parts, and I didn't want those on my atomizer. It's like a pride thing, and I figured, well, why should they accessorize it? They're gonna do it wrong. So it was a bit of that, and then also if you in the Vape Snob article, I talk about like going through and looking at different ideas, and I'm talking about it with like furthering the progression of the MATI. And instead of doing that with different atomizers, I realized I could just do it all with the M and just keep updating it, or not updating it, but just keep adding to it until it becomes like reaches its full potential, I guess.
Ok, Matt, gli stavo chiedendo se dopo l'interruzione della produzione degli atomizzatori lui ha iniziato un nuovo business, credo sia stato il primo, perlomeno per la mia esperienza, a fare business con gli accessori. Gli ho chiesto se questa è stata una scelta voluta, diciamo, o si è trovato in questo tipo di situazione, e Matt mi stava spiegando appunto che già dopo la prima release degli FPR si è reso conto che comunque l'atomizzatore poteva essere migliorato e avrebbe potuto far, diciamo, raggiungere il meglio dell'atom stesso con tutta una serie di accessori che poi nel tempo sono stati effettivamente forniti. Vediamo un po'. Matt, a simple question, but I mean everyone who waits asks this question. After almost 3 years, MRT is still considered the top, the most wanted, the most sought atomizer to have. I don't know any vapor who's vaping who hasn't chased or tried to hunt an MRT at least once. How do you explain this success of your atomizer? I mean, after all, it starts to be an old project, isn't it?
Yeah, we're getting probably towards the end of it actually, but I don't know. I mean, it's a good Addy. I don't know.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It's not ugly looking. And then it's easy to build. I mean, those were my three main goals when I designed it. Is I wanted something that was easy to build and that had flavor and that looked the way I wanted to look. So, why is it still relevant? of it? Probably because of the accessories. I think that is part of it, but I mean, it was a pretty solid design to begin with.
Eh sì. Ho chiesto a Matt se si spiega il perché dopo quasi 3 anni, con un progetto fondamentalmente ormai datato, anche perché sappiamo che nello svapo tutto è così veloce, tutto è così rapido e passa di moda, come sia possibile che dopo quasi 3 anni il suo atomizzatore sia comunque ancora il pezzo da avere, da ricercare e continua ad avere questo successo. E lui molto semplicemente dice probabilmente perché è un buon atomizzatore. È un buon atomizzatore, in effetti su questo ha ragione. Ed anche, dice lui, secondo lui, per la gamma di accessori che sono forniti a corrente. Matt, do you agree with those who says that the actual atomizers, the new single coil generation, are in a sort of, they try to replicate, to emulate the kind of vape of the MATI?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I put out some new geometry on like the internal parts that I see get like proliferate through other addies, but you know, that's no problem. I mean, if something is considered to be one of the best, then that's what people want. If they don't know any different, then you know, they can't. Hmm. I mean, like you know, once you put an idea out there in the market, it's out there. I mean, people can't unlearn it, so it doesn't bother me that I get like emulated or whatever.
As you don't bother about clones. You've been cloned so many times, isn't it?
Well, the clone thing is like I don't personally I don't like it, but it doesn't really affect my market. So I mean,
Of
there's two
course.
parts to it. Like on a personal level, yes, it bothers me. Those are my initials, and they're marking it on something that's not mine. So it does bother me. But from a point of like my sales or my market, people want
Change
authentic.
nothing.
You know, they don't want the clone. You know.
Certo. Ho chiesto a Matt se fondamentalmente gli atomizzatori di nuova generazione, tutti questi single coil che sono usciti nel corso dell'ultimo anno anche o meno, se secondo lui cerchino di ricalcare in qualche modo una resa di svapo, una resa aromatica simile all'MAT. Lui dice, secondo lui sì, anche perché di fatto, e qui parlo anche per esperienza personale, per me l'MAT rimane uno dei migliori, se non il miglior flavor shake atomizer che ci possa essere. Tutte le produzioni successive sono ovviamente rivisitazioni, riproposizioni o comunque innovazioni di un prodotto che mirano ad avere quel tipo di resa, che a mio avviso è già stata raggiunta perfettamente con questo atomizzatore. Ho chiesto anche a Matt, sorry Matt, ho chiesto anche a Matt il suo punto di vista sui cloni. Non è ovviamente da un punto di vista etico favorevole ai cloni, gli fanno piacere, però dice anche che realisticamente una volta che il prodotto è fuori e quindi purtroppo tanti possono fare quello che vogliono e in ogni caso non gli incide minimamente in alcun modo sul suo business, perché who buy clones doesn't buy original, that's it, it's not a market basically. Matt, do you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Thank you. If you remember, we got in touch about 1.5 years ago for a clone. I bought a clone in that summer issue. For
I
which
remember that.
Yeah, I still have to thank again Arturo Luciani, Alessandro Bertacco, you as well, because well, I mean, I came out after that bad adventure. Matt, as the bottom, a step back. In the US, you are a fan of dripping, right? MAT born as a dripper.
What is it?
The MAT is a dripper. It's born to be dripped, okay?
Yeah.
Your bottom feeder pin and all the new glory and fame of the bottom feeder that we're looking at in this last year, how has it been important for your atomizer? Has it gave a new life to the MAT? You understand the question?
Yeah, I think it really has. At first, I never designed it to be BF compatible. It was never intended to be a bottom feeder. And I had some requests early on for pins, and I pushed back. No, I didn't do it. And then I got enough requests to where I finally did the bottom feeder pins, and they didn't really move them. I mean, I would have like an interest list, and then we'd make exactly those many parts, and they would just sit on the site for like 3 or 4 months just in stock. And it wasn't until recently where like bottom feeder pins are just selling out like every time. So we make some like 200, like, oh, this should be enough, and then they're gone, and then we have to keep making them. So I think that it really has kind of like pushed forward the M, but I think it has for every other atomizer as well. Like anything else, every other dripper, it kind of helps drippers to like stay compared to like other formats like tanks or you know like RTA or.
Ho chiesto a Matt se proseguo del successo dell'M-ATT abbia inciso o meno il pin bottom feeder, perché di fatto l'M-ATT nasceva come dripper. E dice effettivamente Matt sì, che l'M-ATT nasceva ovviamente come dripper e inizialmente non era nemmeno interessato lui a fornirlo di un pin bottom feeder. Iniziò ad avere tutta una serie di richieste, ne fece una batch e sparì immediatamente dal sito. Successivamente, continuando la domanda, l'ha fatta ancora e ha continuato a produrre ed ogni volta che li ha prodotti ha visto immediatamente a stock. Per cui dice sì, indubbiamente anche con l'esplosione e il successo avuto dal bottom feeder, questo ha aiutato il proseguo del successo e della vita dell'MA. Matt, HRS, high roller suits, been important in your business? What do you think?
I'm sure. I mean, that was where we auctioned the very first MAD in. And at first I was just only seeking retail, but then we decided to do some exotics and with the exotics, I mean, it's like they're so limited that there has to be like a format to where, some for a sale, you can't just put it on the site and then like have 100 or 1,000 people trying to get like 1 or 2 pieces. So that's the way that we do that. Yeah.
Do you have a cooperation with their staff, with the people who works there, who rules that group?
Sure. Over time, it was definitely an organic thing of, going to the conventions and being active in like UVA and some of these different groups where, over time you do become friends with different people. And like, for instance, last year, me, Corey Stewart, and the Stickman team, we did the World Charity Modders Association in HRS, and we did like a Black Damascus Emadi and then a Scudera and like some specialty rings, and we auctioned that guy off, and then we donated 100% to charity.
Yeah,
so,
that's been
amazing. Just through like going to conventions and everything, you do get to know like how people are and like who's who, and actually make friends too.
Ok, ho chiesto a Matt se HRS High Roller Suit è stato importante per l'MAT. Dice effettivamente Matt, alla fine sì, perché è stato comunque il sito, il gruppo in cui sono stati venduti e riffati anche i pezzi più importanti, più pregiati, dove sono stati ovviamente acquistati a prezzi oltretutto abbastanza elevati, così come nel corso del tempo ha avuto la possibilità di conoscere e di interagire con le persone che lo gestiscono. Mi faceva presente che dopo essersi visti e conosciuti anche a varie convention, hanno fatto anche delle iniziative di beneficenza insieme, come ad esempio in congiunta tra MapMod, Stickman con la scuderia, e hanno fatto un evento di beneficenza il cui ricavato è andato completamente in beneficenza. Matt, what MapMod means? Mebmos, what does it mean?
They're MEB, that's just my initials. It's just like
Matt?
basically I copied Jason for JMK.
Okay, okay.
That's all it is. It's just those are my initials.
Meb, stavo chiedendo a Meb il significato di Meb, sono le sue iniziali. What's your second name? Matt, the second?
Edward.
Edward, didn't know. Maybe Eugene, I don't know. Matt Edward. Matt, one last question from me, and then we'll see what guys here are asking around.
Sure.
For you, the MAT project, it's over. Do you consider it finished? Or we have to wait for something more, some other release, some new, something dropping by?
Well, when I said I think that earlier when I said I think that the cycle is coming to an end is what I meant by that is the accessories now are finished. There's not going to be any more accessories. So now we're in a position to where, I mean, with all the parts, the M is almost at like a version 1.1 or 1.5 if you include in all the accessories. So now we're in a position to where we can release versions of the M that are more complete or even a complete version with every part. So we're going to keep making them. But as far as like new pieces or accessories for the M, I think we're pretty much I'm happy with where we're at now, and I don't think we need to do any more of the accessory parts. So we will do some of the M's that are like including more pieces than just what was sold before. And then for sure there was going to be like a version 2 or like another atomizer down the line.
Hold on. Now we're coming to the important and tasteful news. If I understood correctly, you're planning to release some more MATs with many other accessories, all in a bundle, in a kit, right? Will it be many pieces? Easy to get? Easy. Well, obtainable?
Well, you're in the MEB group. I am gonna do the star decks, but not that many. So we're gonna release just some decks by themselves, but maybe like 40 or 50 pieces, nothing. And then we will do a single coil bottom fed version where it comes with everything that you need to do the single coil BF. And that will be small numbers too. That will be right around 50 pieces. And that's just to get the project started. And then after that, we will do, I'm looking to do about a regular run, like 200 pieces again, but complete. Like an M that comes with everything that you need.
Ok, gotta translate. Ho chiesto a Matt se considerasse finito il progetto MAT e mi ha spiegato che considera finita, diciamo, questa fase di produzione separata degli accessori. Questa dovrebbe essere terminata. Ha invece in mente, e questa è una buona notizia per chi ancora fosse alla ricerca di un suo primo atomizzatore MAT, una produzione di altri 40-50 pezzi super accessoriati, cioè a differenza della versione precedente verrà fornita atomizzatore con tutta una serie di accessori che abbiamo visto nel tempo, più un'altra serie di un'altra cinquantina di pezzi con single coil bottom feeder. Quindi vediamo un attimino che riusciremo a... Matt, after this next release, are you thinking about an MAT V2 or a complete new and different atomizer? What are you thinking about?
I have some different designs. I'm not really settled on any one of them right now. I mean, as far as the naming of it, I just probably would call it the M2 or V2 because the way that I named it, you know, was just M Addy, I'm Matt. It's Addy, M Addy. It's like just, it seemed like a simple name that was easy to like, you know, easy to recognize. So, but I don't know. I mean, we're not there yet.
There's nothing sure yet. I see, I see. Ho chiesto a Matt se appunto dopo questa nuova batch di Amati che andrà a produrre ha già in mente un V2 o una versione successiva o addirittura un nuovo atomizzatore. E è stato molto vago, però effettivamente è nell'aria, lo ha confermato che ha in mente di realizzare un prodotto nuovo e diverso, però per il momento non si sbottona assolutamente. Matt, one last question from me, then we see what the guys are asking around. What kind of vapor is Matt Brown today? What do you vape? Did you become a squonker addicted to? You're still dripping as you used to do?
I do both. I have Paolo was awesome enough to send over a wretch, and I have that guy set up, and then I do have a peon also. But I have a Scudera coming too, and I have a Chimek coming, and right now I'm using the Paolo's mod, the Geppetto.
Yeah, right.
So I do both. You know, I drip and I squonk. I think squonking, when I first tried it, wasn't really where it needed to be for me to really like it. But all the new progression in that market is now it's like a viable format for me. I'm starting to like it a lot more than when it first was all tiny atomizers and you know.
Do you use any other atomizer except Mebati?
No, but it's not really a pride thing. Is just those are the only ones I get for free. So.
Oh, correct. Ho chiesto a Matt se dopo tutto questo tempo anche lui si è convertito allo squonking oppure no, e effettivamente, per quanto non lo dica così apertamente, sì. Ha ricevuto una breach da Paolo Curcio, sta aspettando una Chimeco, l'ha ricevuta, non ho ben capito, da Giacomo, e anche lui comunque continua a drippare, però si è dato al bottom feeder, che alterna comunque ancora con il dripping. Matt, are there any chances for people to contact you via private message and ask you the production of a special piece, something particular, obviously according with your prices and timing? Do you do this kind of things or you don't?
No, I mean, I thought about it, but just with how busy I am with the actual like production parts, it's just not possible. So I do get a lot of messages about, oh, I want a custom engraving, or, you know, oh, I'll pay like, you know, $1,000 for one or whatever it is. But I can't even read them all, much less like satisfy that type of request. It all has to be done through like a format where, like the group, where it's like a more fair chance of people getting one.
Ok, sì. Ho chiesto a Matt se se c'è la possibilità di contattarlo privatamente per fargli degli ordini particolari, tipo una versione speciale, sto pensando a un Mokuti piuttosto che ad altro, e mi ha detto che effettivamente ci aveva pensato, però si è reso conto che star dietro a questo tipo di richieste, serializzazioni, incisioni particolari delle persone, diventa non gestibile con il tipo di impegni che ha, e quindi di fatto è una strada che non può percorrere. Matt, any chance in future to have a couple, 3-4 artists to keep to a nice Italian vaping group that hosted you one evening in a fall time to give to their guys?
You know, I did do that a couple times way back, but I think that the numbers are so limited that instead of doing that, we're gonna open up the group to more members soon, and especially before any of the new atomizers are released.
Ok. Ho chiesto a Matt, ragazzi, ci ho dovuto provare, I did have to try, obviously. Ho chiesto a Matt se c'era la possibilità di avere qualche atomizzatore per il gruppo, per OOVG. Ovviamente è stato carino, ma ha risposto, però dice i pezzi saranno talmente pochi. In passato ha provato a farlo, dice casomai invece che affidarli a gruppi esterni aumenterà il numero di persone eventualmente nel gruppo MEB che potrebbero. Matthew, I don't think you hear correctly. You said there won't be any chance to get a Matthew in outsider group, but maybe it'll open the door of the Matt group to more people.
We need
Correct,
to.
Matt?
It's something that I've really been wanting to do,
guys,
actually. But I just need to
pardon
rewrite.
I see. Okay, in all our chat, I didn't check any message. I was so concentrated to try to understand what you were saying to translate it to our guys. So if you agree, Matt, we take a look at the question that guys have made on the group. We choose some and
Sure.
we see. Okay, let me see. How do I scroll around the questions? Guys, I'll take some question random. So hard with telephone in the landscape to check it. Oh, Matt, the first question I see is from Alessandro Migliore. He's asking, new Etsy will be sold in the group or on in the website?
Well, even when it's, let me back up. I think a couple months ago, I even posted about this. I decided that a new atomizer, like a version 2, we're going to split it into basically thirds, where a third is going to be hand selected from the group, a third is going to be randomized from the group, and then the last third is going to be publicly sold.
That's a good way. Stava pensando e diceva che per la prossima versione probabilmente divideranno la produzione in 3 parti. Un terzo sarà venduto sul gruppo, un terzo sul sito e un terzo da quello che ho capito fuori. Ragazzi, scusatemi se ho detto qualche bischerata. Victor was asking if you drip or BF, but you already answered. Let me see something else. Oh, Simone Ballerini is asking me, is asking you, which build did you have in mind when you first designed the M-ATI?
Oh, yeah. Actually, when I went to design the M-ATI, I started with the coil, and I designed the atomizer around the coil. So that was an interesting take on it. I felt like a lot of these other atomizers at the time, 2012, was like just leave it up to the customer to figure out how to build it. So I started with an 8-wrap, 24 gauge, 2.5 millimeter coil, and I made it to where it could take up to a 3 millimeter. So now I've kind of moved up to 3 millimeter, but it's still basically the same build.
8 spire, 24 gauge su punta da 2,5. Questo è, diciamo, la coil sulla quale lui ha pensato l'atomizzatore. Quindi Matt è partito dalla coil e attorno a quella ha pensato all'atom. Nel tempo invece si è avvicinato alla punta da 3, però sempre con lo stesso tipo di setup. Matt, Claudio Gianni asks, what's your favorite BF mode?
I've been liking the single coil with the honey pot with the single coil cap. But I like both. It's a lot easier I usually vape around like 0.2 to 0.3 ohms on a mechanical. Yeah. So it's a lot easier to hit those numbers with a Canthal and a dual coil. So I have one set up with dual and one with single. I've been liking the flavor more from the single lately, but it changes. I think that's one of the great things about the M is you can kind of just build it the way that you want it. You can get the type of vape that you want out of it with all the different options.
Ok, stavo dicendo che sostanzialmente è un atomizzatore talmente versatile che lo puoi settare bene o male come vuoi e che ti potrà dare sempre un range di opzioni abbastanza importante. Matt, talking about Italian mod, do you know our modders? Do you have a preferred one, someone you really like?
I don't want to hurt any feelings. I think what Paolo's doing over there with the Frankenskull stuff and the SVA are like 2 of the top ones, but those are the ones that kind of shine to me. but I can't really pick a favorite though. It's too hard.
I see. Matt è politicamente corretto, quindi dice che fondamentalmente non si sbilancia in favore di nessuno. Gli piacciono parecchio i lavori di Paolo, di Sva, ha detto però dice ecco non voglio assolutamente sbilanciarmi da nessuna parte. Simone is making another interesting question. Basically, he's asking, do you reckon that MATI has a different way to work if you click or if you use it in bottom feeder? Is it the same or is it different? The kind of vape you can obtain?
It's basically the same. I mean, whether you're dropping the juice down or squonking it up, the flavor is the same. I mean, there's a little bit difference in like how you use the Addy itself, but as far as like performance, it's the same.
Ok, Simone, secondo lui fondamentalmente non cambia niente se non a parte il sistema di alimentazione dell'atomizzatore. Arnab Banerjee asks you, what are your thoughts on people flipping your Attis? Doesn't having really exclusive products encourage it? Then he goes on, but I can see. Well, he asked your thoughts about flipping, basically.
I mean, I've been doing this for a little bit. When I first started doing it, like the first FPR release and stuff, it bothered me. But over time, I kind of realized like that's someone's property, you know. Like once they pay cash for it, it's theirs. What I don't like and what I try to prevent in the group is the immediate flip. You know, if you're just there in my group just to get something to turn around and flip it as soon as you get it, then I probably won't sell you another one, you know, like that was your one and you got your money and there you go. But if so, it's a collector, someone that has it for, you know, a while, they used it, and then they should get as much money as they want, you know.
Yeah,
they
sure.
should be able to sell it for retail or sell it for market.
Yeah. Matt stava dicendo riguardo il flipping che inizialmente ci faceva più caso, poi fondamentalmente ha detto che una volta che le persone hanno pagato cash per avere un prodotto, il prodotto è loro e ci possono fare quello che gli pare. Quello che non gli piace ovviamente sono le persone che anche all'interno del gruppo sono lì per acquistare pezzi e rivenderseli immediatamente facendoci un guadagno di fatto immeritato. Vediamo Matt. Ernestino Baciccia asks, Mr. Brown, what do you think about... No, sorry, it's a bullshit. Ernestino, it was a stupid question. Pass by. It is a laugh. No, but let me see. Many people are still asking, when will you add other people on that group?
I do need to rewrite the rules. The rules are very out of date, and we follow them loosely. So, see, this week is no good for me, but I think this month we will be opening the group for sure.
Still with the vouch system, right?
Yeah, we'll do the vouch system, and I mean, if I have free time, I do add people. Message me or I see them post and they do have MATIs, I figure, okay, but the amount of time that I have is so limited, I can't just sit there on Facebook and add in all the users or all the owners that way. So it will be vouch and there'll be maybe one or two other ways.
Ok, stava dicendo Matt sì che l'intenzione, come dicevamo prima, è quello di allargare gli utenti del gruppo. Non lo vuole fare a breve, non ce la farà probabilmente questa settimana, però entro il mese dovrebbe riuscirci. Nel frattempo comunque il sistema sarà sempre quello dei vouch. Nel frattempo chi fosse possessore dell'MAT può provare a contattarlo in privato e se ne ha voglia, si ricorderà, questo lo dico io, potrà aggiungervi al gruppo. Let me see. Matt I think we spoke about everything basically. I'm trying to scroll the questions, but many are the same. How to get an ATI? When will you produce more MATI? How to get in your group? Let me see if I missed something interesting.
I
It's
think
so
Corey has
hard.
a good point.
I couldn't work in Italy. I couldn't really. Pins. Paul Rowling was asking how was your belly tattoo? I didn't know anything about your belly tattoo.
Oh no, I'm leaving tomorrow at like 5 in the morning to drive over, and so I'm nervous a bit, but we'll see how it is.
Do you plan to cover all your body with tattoos completely?
Mm, well, we'll see. I mean, I don't know about doing the neck or the hands, or especially not the face, but that's something I like.
Yeah, sì. Stavamo parlando di tatuaggi. Dovrebbe farsi un tatuaggio al belly, che se non sbaglio è l'ombelico, se non dico bischerate, non lo so. Chiedevano del tatuaggio al belly e mi dice che va domani a tatuarsi e comunque ha in mente di tatuarsi un pochettino tutto. Io purtroppo, no, I'm sad because keeping the telephone in landscape mode, I cannot read all the text of the message. So maybe even
Yeah,
if
me
there's
too.
something interesting, I cannot read them all. So I have to take the small one. Which kind of juice do you think get its best on your ati? Which kind of juice?
Um, Man, that's a hard question because that brings in my own like personal taste. Um, I mean, right now I'm vaping Dainty by Pimpy Pat. The stuff is really good. But I think I've tried the savory flavors, I've tried tobaccos, I've tried fruits, and they all seem to shine a little bit more in the atomizer. So I don't think it's a juice specific atomizer. I think if you vape a really strong flavor, you're not going to like it in the M because of how much stronger it will be. But most liquids are balanced flavors, not too strong. So.
Do you vape tobaccos too on the MRT?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ho chiesto che
personally,
tipo di liquidi secondo lui sono più indicati per l'MAT. Fondamentalmente non ne sceglie nessuno in particolare, dice che ognuno a modo suo, secondo lui, sull'MAT ha una resa più completa, più corposa, per cui giustamente il suo prodotto dice ci vanno bene tutti. They're all good on MAT. Christos Keramizanos is asking, since you have so many potential buyers and a huge market to satisfy, what holds you from expanding? And then it goes on, but you understand the question.
yeah, this is a good question. I did kind of want to address this. So, not just in vaping, but in every market, anything that is very, very high quality, or even just high quality, is um, limited production in some aspect. And it's a bit of the chicken and egg argument, but I mean, basically, in all my um, projects in mechanical engineering and aerospace, the more parts you make, the harder it is to control quality. It's just how it is. You know, if I'm making 200 pieces, I can make sure every single one of those is perfect. But if I'm making thousands of pieces, then it's just gonna be not the same O-ring fitment, not the same finish. It's not. I'm not gonna be able to make them as nice as I wanted them. So it's very much that. It's just why should I take it to China and make a shit version of it when I'm already making a good version here.
Can I say this is the difference between you, the kind of work you want to keep on, and the new atomizers that are made, for example, in China and sold everywhere in the world in huge, enormous batches. The quality
Yeah,
of the
well,
product.
I do want to point out that China does make good stuff. They just aren't gonna make it the way I want it. It's not to say that those other atomizers are bad, but if you do want to get to that top level of quality control, I don't see it happening in any format that's mass produced.
Matt stava dicendo, rispondeva alla domanda del perché, vedendo un potenziale così vasto di acquirenti, non espanda il suo business fondamentalmente. E ha risposto dicendomi che in tutti i settori high-end, comunque prodotti di livello che vogliono puntare alla qualità, secondo lui la produzione massiva è pressoché impossibile. Quello che fondamentalmente lo frena e fa sì che continui a lavorare, diciamo, in questo modo, con batch limitate e numeri ridotti, continua a essere il quality control. Lui fonda tutto sul controllo della qualità, per cui apprezza anche i risultati ottenuti da altri imprenditori che fanno realizzare prodotti all'estero, ma per ottenere il tipo di prodotto che vuole lui deve controllare ogni singolo pezzo. Let me see. Oh well. I think you already asked the question, but it's the way. If you had to use one other apti other than your own, what would it be? You have to be kind with someone else now, Matt.
That is a hard one. One of the reasons why I don't buy other atomizers is I want to keep my my mind like clear of other designs, because you can incorporate something easily. If I go out and buy all these other atomizers, it's easy to get other people's ideas in your head. So, I mean, I haven't bought an atomizer in like almost 2 years, like a year and a half. So I couldn't really tell you. I mean,
you don't use
I don't know.
them. No.
Yeah.
You don't use
Yeah.
them.
I purposefully don't use them.
Chiedevo a Matt, giravo la domanda del quale altro atomizzatore usa o userebbe ad eccezione del suo. E molto onestamente ha detto che non lo sa perché non li usa, quindi non saprebbe dire. Another question, Matt. Lorenzo Piromalli asks, which is the main component of an atomizer that you have to look after, to be careful about, to obtain a great, good flavor? Which is the most important part? The chamber, the drip tip, the airflow? What do you think? A mix of all.
A design aspect. It's everything, man. It's not just one thing. I mean, you have to make it easy for people to build. If they can't build it, then that's it. You're already dead. You have to have good flavor. So, what goes along with that is just coil placement, airflow, airflow options, chamber geometry. There's so much that goes into it.
Lorenzo, Matt dice sostanzialmente un po' di tutto. Ovviamente incidono la geometria della camera, l'airflow, aggiungo il drip tip, un pochettino di tutto. Richie Cole asks, Matt, how many MATI do you own?
3, that's it.
3. I know Italian guys who have more than you.
I know. It's just too hard to keep around, like I'll have an extra one and then have someone that's like personal friend or something that's like been wanting one for a year. Like we just got one for Pat and for Jeff, and they've been promised stems for like Pat, like almost since Vape Summit, or I'm sorry, not Vape Summit, Showcase Houston. I mean, so it's just too hard for me to keep them. I'm not like a big collector guy. I do have my display case with parts and stuff, but
if you run out, what do? You make another one for you?
No, I mean we make these I can't just make one. There's been times where I've only had one, and I just wait until another production run, and then I steal one out of it.
Matt ha soltanto 3 MATI e gli dicevo che ci conosco persone che ne hanno ben più di lui, e dice non è ovviamente facile per lui riuscire a tenerli perché comunque sia vuoi rapporti di amicizia, vuoi un qualcuno che in un determinato momento glielo chiede a una convention piuttosto che in un'altra occasione, e quindi in quel caso gli capita di privarsene. Ovviamente ha atteso la batch successiva per riprenderlo, per riaverne un altro. Ok. Let's see, Yegor Moretti asks, what's the best advice you ever had for the new generations about how to be a great modder like you?
Well, the first thing probably is just not to really care what people say. You know, if you have some convictions or if you have an idea, it's up to you to make it. So you can't be just going any way the wind blows. And just make it good. Like, people buy good shit. You know, if you make it good, it will sell. That's all there is, you know.
Yegor chiedeva quale consiglio si sentirebbe di dare a un giovane modder perché possa diventare bravo, un grande modder come lui. E lui dice fondamentalmente di non stare a sentire quello che dicono le persone, di andare avanti con le proprie idee, svilupparle e ovviamente riuscire ad avere un buon prodotto, perché quella ovviamente è la chiave del successo, non solo nello svapo ma dappertutto. Darren McCabe is asking, Matt, do you still work in other areas other than MapMod projects?
No. Well, this is the only thing I do.
Fa soltanto quello, lavora soltanto per con e per MapMods. Vediamo un po'. Oh, another interesting question. Do you think you would have enjoyed vaping the way you do right now if you didn't create your own ATI? So, if M-ATI wouldn't exist, never existed.
I was pretty happy with Norbert's stuff, you know. I mean, the origins were good. I mean, it's been, what, like 5 years? Maybe I would have, like, been able to, or not been able to, but maybe I would have just quit vaping altogether by now. You know, just gone down to zero and then stopped. But it's hard to say. I mean, I don't know.
Malcolm Tan says he can't believe he has more M than you.
Believe it, buddy.
I answer to all the other guys that asked the same question. Matt already said that he'll open the group for MAT owners and to new members in the near future. Is correct, Matt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have less than customer. Then Paolo, no Frankie's. I'm getting really tired. It's so stressful for me to read, to listen in English, to translate. My God, I'm not used to it.
Mm-hmm.
What would you be doing if you weren't be machining mods? Another dream in your life. What would you do?
Wow.
Don't tell me ink all day long, please. Eh?
I would probably still be doing some aspect of consulting. I have consulted outside of like the vape industry, or I would still be pushing paper at a desk job, you know, corporate life, mechanical engineering, like, so, yeah, either that or I'd just be on a boat.
In a boat. Potrebbe essere su una barca, fondamentalmente. I understand you, mate. So, guys, if you don't have any other interesting or different question, well, I would give him a rest. I would take a rest.
Yeah.
Because, well, it's more than 1 hour that we're running this live.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down with that.
Matt, first of all, thanks. Really thank again for giving us your time to share your experience with us on OOVG. It's been really, really a huge pleasure and an honor for us. I want to thank all the OOVG staff, which is Marco Bugini, which is Giovanni Centorrino, Simone Ballerini, Cristian Ragazzoni, Really, really, thanks a lot, Matt. We'll keep on following
No.
your work as we always do. And
Hmm.
thanks again. Hope to
No,
see
thank
you here next time.
Yeah, yeah, this has been fun. Thank you for having me, guys.
No, no, no. It's our honor, our privilege. Bye bye. Have a nice day. Good night for European guys.
Yeah.
And thanks everyone, guys. I did my best. Sorry for the shits or whatever. Bye bye.
Bye.